Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair for joining the online Children's Madrasah class. Inshallah, today we're going to go through chapter 12. And in this chapter, inshallah, we're going to talk about adhan just before, inshallah, you start to do your or prepare for your test. By chapter 15, inshallah, you should be ready to take your assessment. So in this chapter, inshallah, we're going to talk about the adhan. So if we start off with the muaddin is a person who calls the adhan. And this person calls the adhan 5 times a day in the mosque. Muslims, they tend to get ready for salah after they hear the adhan. If you do live in a Muslim country, you are very lucky to hear the adhan 5 times a day. Here in the UK, we do use timetables for following the time of salah. One of the things that we mentioned for adhan was before using the voice of a person, it was suggested by some of the companions to use the horn like the Jews or to use the bell like the Christians do. And then somebody suggested that we should use the voice. And Bilal radiallahu anhu was appointed first to give adhan at that time, and he was the first muaddin, and he was known to have a very beautiful voice. So that's the background of adhan. That's how adhan started to be called. The voice of a person was called, and we have hadiths in regarding the wording and what to say for that. So when you hear the adhan, you should prepare yourself for salah. This is a time where you need to start preparing yourself and not delay your salah. And one of the things that we were talking about is when you do hear the adhan and you're playing a game, you're playing Fortnite, or you're busy doing something else and you're busy playing something and you're delaying your salah, what you need to remember is what you're delaying your salah for can wait. So when we were doing the class, someone said to me, well, you can't really pause Fortnite. I understand that sometimes you can't pause your game and you really want to play, but imagine that you don't get that time to pray. Okay, that in that next minute, we don't know how long we will live, so we should use our time. And every time the salah comes or the adhan is called and there's time for prayer, we need to be rushing to pray because we don't know how long we're going to live. So it's always better to rush to do the good deeds rather than delaying them and doing something else, which is making you waste your time. And those of you who come into the older category, those who come into the later classes, those who are 9+, in the lessons, what we talked about was the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, who said, a worship of dirham, meaning money, has a miserable, sad life. And we talked about what this hadith actually means. It doesn't mean that you can't love money, that you can't make money. It means that you are somebody who's always running after money. You make money your number one priority, meaning you always give the money in your life the first position. You're always thinking about putting money before everything else, before the deen, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before your salah, before doing anything towards Islam. So if you're putting money before religion, that means you're really worshipping money. And this doesn't mean that you literally worship money by doing sujood to that money. No, you worship money by putting it before Allah and before the religion. And if you're putting Fortnite before salah and before the religion, then that means you're actually worshipping that game, because that game is now more important to you than doing the acts of ibadah. So we should really rush when we hear the adhan, rush to pray and not delay our salah, because we don't know how long we have. So how do we get ready for salah? We should do wudu, and in the next chapter, inshallah, we'll talk about how to prepare for wudu and what does preparation for wudu mean. So we have here the wording of adhan, and we should memorize this and understand the meaning of it in English. So Allah Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And you say this twice. Then you say Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. Here you have to make the lam strong because this is lafzul jalala. But here we'll keep it soft. Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. And you say this twice as well. Then you go on to say Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Again, we make the lam strong. Muhammadur Rasulullah. And then you say Hayya ala salah. Sorry, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala salah. Then you say Hayya ala falah, Hayya ala falah. Then you say back Allahu Akbar, and then you finish off with La ilaha illallah. And we were talking about the Shahada having two parts. The first part is rejecting all false God, La ilaha, there's no God, illa except Allah. So we reject false gods and then we confirm the true worship of one true God. So here you have a few activities, inshallah. You should all have this book already. So what I would like you to do is go back and complete this exercise. So the mueddin calls out the what? 5 times a day. So you should know that if you scroll back, remember what we said. We said the mueddin calls out the adhan 5 times a day. So here you know that we need to put in this blank space adhan, and it says 5 times a day. Then Muslims get ready to offer what? They offer salah. When you hear the adhan, you should prepare yourself for what? For salah. Please learn the wording of the adhan by heart, memorize it, inshallah. And don't forget to also understand the meanings of it. What do I mean when I say, what does it mean when we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar? It means Allah is the most greatest. What do we mean when we say Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah? It means that we testify, that we say there is no God but Allah. So I would like you to, for homework, memorize the Arabic wording of the adhan and also read it in English to understand what it actually means. And please join me for next lesson when I do chapter number 13. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.